Hello.
Hi, Mom. Just kidding. I don't think my mom.
Welcome to Priestessing the Priestesses, episode 13.
Woo!
Um,
Or
and we happen to be recording this on Friday the 13th.
Friday the 13th.
So we're really excited that it's episode 13 on the 13th, and we like the number 13. And I am Kohenet Annie Matan. I'm here with my co-host, Kohenet Devorah Gran of the Lilith Institute. And our guest today is Kohenet Laurentzanit, aka Laurentzanit.
Hi, everyone. That's me.
Hello. Welcome.
And Lauren and I have been friends for 10 years. I am currently in her living room in Guelph.
Yeah.
Guelph, Ontario, which is an exciting place to be. And
like this.
I told Lauren that I do this thing with Devorah every week, and I was like, hey, want to join us? So here she is. And we are excited, especially to have Lauren, because Lauren is a sacred fool. That is the archetype of priestessing that she most embodies and embraces. And when better to talk about how to show up in the world in sacred foolery. And so we're really excited to hear from Lauren how she does that and how we can do that. Play and all the things, please.
Yay! Yeah, it was the best time for foolishness, and it's the kind of thing I could say at any time, really, but I mean worldwide. Now is the best time for like adapting and making something up and making mistakes and then trying something else and rolling with it and not really knowing, because there's this Yiddish expression. You just read it. I forget the exact words.
God, how do you say God planned
it? Man plans and God laughs. Right.
That's it. And I mean, that's what this entire year has been. Like 2020 is about clarity and also about I don't know if you're allowed swearing on this podcast, but
I think so.
So this is to me, it's a hilarious year. And as long as you like recognize that fact, another thing I really love is that another expression I love is the universe is playing with itself.
I haven't heard that one before.
So I think one of the major things that's happening in the world right now, one of many, many things, is there's a lot of anxiety and tension. And a lot of it is about like not knowing. So we're like, can we make plans? Can't we? What is work going to look like? What is school going to look like? And it's just like, it's all the unknowns. And the best thing to do is get used to the unknowns by playing. And my art form in particular is improvisation. I'd be happy to go on about that, but it just really teaches you to adapt. And for me, so let's say I come into a scene and I'm like, I've decided we're priestesses on a couch. And Annie's like, I've decided we're clowns.
Yeah.
Let's say.
Who are also priestesses on a couch because I'm yes-anding.
Exactly. So like the idea I had of us being like, is now going to be like, yay, instead, or whatever it is. But it's like, we have to adapt. We have to adapt constantly. And I have an idea. She has an idea. Let's go with it. So that's what the world is. It's like, I had ideas. I was going to go to California for a Rebooters conference where I would finally meet the people behind Do You 10Q and like a million things. And then that didn't happen. But instead, like a million other things.
Instead, you're on Priestessing the Priestesses with Kohenet Devorah.
It's just amazing to be like, instead, this other cool thing. I was gonna like teach improv in person. Instead, I'm teaching improv online with people in India and Malta, and like I'm on a global improv troupe with people in 60.
Pretty great. Yeah.
We spend half our rehearsals talking about what time zones our next rehearsal is gonna be. This is my new life. It's like, this is fun. And then what's going to be next? What's going to be after this? And I love it because so many people are like, how quickly can we get back to normal? And I'm like, no.
There's so much opportunity now.
Yeah. What is it?
This all globally. Yeah.
What is it going to look like next? And these are the really exciting, fresh things for me. So just playing with possibilities, and yeah, those are just some of the many things that is playful. What can the world look like instead of traveling?
Yeah,
we can talk online to people in our underwears without them knowing. That's as fun as being on a plane for 5 hours.
I just thought of a question for you.
Yeah.
Because I know that you wrote a book called Fun at Work.
Yeah.
Which was over here.
Right over there.
This is the proof. So
very cool. Transform your career with improv. Love it.
Right? And last week, I was just thinking about this because last week we had Kohenet Katsira Lesser, who you know, was our guest, and she calls herself a corporate priestess.
Mhm.
And she, so she talked about what it meant to be priestessing in a corporate space. And you also priestess in a corporate space, and it looks very different than that.
Mhm.
And so I'm curious to hear from your perspective, what does it look like to be priestessing in a corporate space when your objective is, well, you tell us what your objective is. Actually, I was going to make an assumptive. What do you
Yeah, thank
think?
you.
I was going to say like fun and play, but I know you're also about morale and community building and relationship building and like
Yeah.
helping people at work do better when they embrace fun and playfulness. And
It would be great to hear an example, perhaps, of,
yeah,
something
yeah,
you've done.
I'm about engagement and interaction and presence and communication and relationship and team bonding. And
Yeah.
so, what example? What do you mean in terms of like?
Something, a situation where you were brought into a company and something you led them through that I'm sure they weren't expecting.
Yeah, and that's what the book is.
Yeah.
So it's a 6-week course that I did like Monday nights after work to whoever volunteered to sign up. And we ended up having signups from different departments, which was also really neat because then we had fun communication. And so like one of the exercises, it was just like a silly warm up. We were like, ooga, 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 ooga. And then someone's like, bunny, 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 bunny. And we just make all these noise. And apparently, when I went back the next week, someone said that like the next day, someone's like, "Were you in that group up chanting last night?" Yes, yes, I was. And they gave each other nicknames, and like some of them had never talked to each other before, but then from then on, they were like, "That's Wiley Coyote. How you doing? How's your coffee?" And like all these kind of friendships build, and we bonded over all these just there were silly games, and then there was creating theater, um, and it ranged.
Hmm.
So super fun.
and also help people think on their feet, right? Like lots of applications and a totally different. It just struck me. I was like, right, Katsira was talking about being a priestess in corporate life in a very different framework than you have been a priestess in corporate life. So one of the things that I really like about having guests on here is that we get to model different forms of priestessing.
Yeah.
So it felt like a neat opportunity to give another example.
Yeah, for people to be okay with the unknown, as well as like landing on your feet. Another thing is it's also about mental health. So my background as expressive arts therapist is exploring like how this builds our confidence, our self-perception, our ability to face things that we're afraid of. There's like a lot of talk about like shadow side and scariness, but like literally play games with it and play a scene where this trait of yourself just happens to come up and people happen to laugh. And you're like, instead of, so there's one story of someone where someone came up to him and was just like, it's so funny the way like you reacted to things in that scene. You were just like nonchalant when the world was collapsing around you, and it caused him to think like be like, oh yeah, that is funny, and then think to himself like, I guess I don't I don't respond in a way that's helpful. I just kind of let things get worse and worse and worse, or just like these little things that we can kind of notice in ourselves that are um we're funny. We're very, very funny creatures. And it's so important to be aware that we're just hilarious little monsters. And the more we're like, oh gosh, I do this terrible, I bite my nails and I have to be anxious about it because of all the bad things. Like, it's
Right.
funny. I don't know. And I don't want to like make fun of people's serious things. But I feel like you're probably already taking that thing seriously enough. Like it can afford a little bit of levity.
Right. And you're bringing in a perspective, which we badly need right now. Yeah.
Yes.
It's great. It's good work. When is the book coming out?
So it's already out as an ebook,
Okay.
and the physical copy will be ready as soon as we finish enough things. And I'm actually
Tweaking margins. We're tweaking margins. Nothing serious.
nothing serious. I'm also renaming the subtitle. It'll be Fun at Work, Play Your Way to Better Mental Health.
Ooh.
Because I want to emphasize that this is
Yeah.
important for all of our mental health.
And how does somebody order it if they want the ebook right now?
I know. So it is on the Trillionaires website, but I would prefer, like, you can order it from our printing press, which is Arboretum Press.
Like what?
Arboretum.
Who Trillionaire?
What trillionaire? What are we talking about?
Exists and sells books. Yes, you can get Fun and Work there by Laurentzanit, but you can also go to arboretumpress.com/funatwork.
Thank you. Arboretum.com.
Arboretumpress.com.
Arboretum Press, right. .com. Okay.
And then get it directly from us. And
That would be better.
The trillionaire.
Absolutely.
and support small
Lovely.
businesses.
Yeah. Wonderful. Wonderful. Well, it's so great to have you here, and I'm glad this worked out, this synchronicity of you visiting and Annie I'm talking to.
Yes.
Yeah.
About me visiting Lauren and getting to bring her on. So Devorah, tell us, how are you playing with play?
I am ready for this question, and I'm going to share my screen, which will kind of sum it up. And let's see, does that, you don't see anything
I don't
yet.
think we've done this before.
Screen share. Whoa, next level.
Have it.
Oh, the kitties!
My kitties.
Half the internet just kitty photos.
Yes.
So you can see this? Okay.
Oh my goodness, they're so okay. Did you pick names for them?
We did, but it took several days, which was unusual. I named her first. They're sisters, and she is Tzedek, which for our audience means justice. It felt like a good time to bring that into the house and everywhere. And then Mark, we sort of think of her as mine and her as Mark's, because he's the one who decided we should bring a second cat home, which isn't what we went out for. But they're sisters, and he didn't want to leave her behind, I think. And I'm very glad we didn't, because they entertain each other, of course, in incredible, very funny ways. I've become a picture-taking fool. I am taking, every 5 minutes, I think I'm photographing them. And he named her, you'll never guess, Lilith.
Ooh.
But he actually said Lilith. And I said, well, that's Hebrew. That's Lilith. That's still her name. And partly I think he says that because she makes mischief. And but for whatever reason or reasons, of course, I love that she has that name, and I love having them in the house. You know, even though they're waking us up earlier, about an hour earlier than usual, and getting mad Zooming craziness at 1 a.m. But we're not usually asleep yet anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
That's entertaining then.
Yeah, really. It's been great medicine, and yeah, absolutely. In this time in which, you know, it can be very challenging to find moments of joy or certainly of play, because that would feel so, you know, like such a luxury. They insist on it. So that's most of my answer. Yeah.
Aww.
How about you, Annie?
I was just thinking, I was like, am I prepared to answer this honestly? Well, yeah, I'm like gonna blush. I want to answer this honestly, because I feel like it's important for us to talk about. So I am very fortunate to have a partner at this time, and I get to have like playful, fun sex, and that's actually been like an amazing area of exploration and growth and play and fun and outlet for energy in this time that I have been immensely grateful for, and has really helped me find parts of myself that had been I don't know what not exactly silenced, but like it felt absent for a while. I had been in a stage of my life where things felt like really heavy, and in fact I had removed the word fun from my vocabulary, and my last in my marriage, which ended just over a year ago, like I would go out, like go to a party, hang out with friends, and I'd come home and my ex would say, so did you have fun? And I was like, I don't really do fun. It was meaningful. I had some nice conversations.
Right.
And it was actually, you know, after that relationship ended and I started to date again and reconnect with my sexuality, that I noticed within a week. I was like, wait, I'm having fun. This is fun. I forgot that this is how I have fun. Well, And so, you know, for those of you who are following me on Instagram and you're seeing me sharing boudoir photos,
Yes.
I think exploring art and art has been fun. Collecting leaves has been
I
fun.
was just going to bring that up because it feels like it when you share those things.
Yes, I
Both
just
of
I
those.
enjoy it.
Yeah.
And then like the play of the collecting leaves and being able to do that with my daughter. So like the other day I took video clips of the wind blowing the leaves around,
Uh-huh.
and I showed it to her yesterday, and I was like, look, Gail was on our street from Frozen 2. Because you know Gail is the wind, and and we know she's there because she whips the leaves around.
Oh, that's
So you know, I feel like it's actually I'm it feels vulnerable. I just want to name like to share because we don't really talk about sex here. We
not
haven't
not yet.
yet, but in fact, this is a perfect plug because we have Sharina Eisenberg coming up to talk about pleasure.
Right.
And her thing is hot pink Torah. So you know, stay tuned.
Ooh, a nice
Um,
color.
yeah, right.
Can I talk about sex after you're done?
Yeah, sure.
Great.
So I
Well,
just
we have about 10 minutes, so yeah,
yeah,
maybe
yeah, it'll be quick. So
yeah.
I guess I'm noticing that the reemergence of all these parts of myself,
Yeah.
including my sexuality and my like owning my sexuality and my body in these empowered ways, has led me to find play and fun in everything else too.
That's wonderful. I just have to say one thing that also came across as a lot of fun was you and your daughter watching the chocolate chip cookies
Yes,
in the oven. And
me and
that
her
was
were like, it's not done yet. Thank you. Yes, we made the chocolate chip cookies while watching Frozen 2.
wow.
So if you haven't heard me extol the virtues of that movie, know that it is one of my favorite movies, and I think everyone should watch it, especially Priestesses.
All right.
You want to hear
Lauren.
about sex?
Okay, I'm gonna say about sex now that you've
Open the
opened that.
door.
This is the first episode that addresses that topic. So I'll say like I previously before I had it and then shamefully even until recently I had this impression there are two types of sex. There's like porn, like hot, so want it, like lustful sex, and there's like romantic, like calm, you know, candles and soft music and whispering I love you and those staring into each other's eyes sex. So like those are the only two kinds. But it turns out there's so many other kinds of sex. And I found an agenda that like I started at the beginning of the year, and I wrote at the beginning of the year 2020, let's make sex awkward again.
Uh,
Well, to
what
me,
does that mean?
like it's okay if somebody makes a noise or does something weird. Like it's okay to make jokes and stuff. And yeah, so I'm just noticing like when I've had sex recently.
Yay!
I mean, okay, so that's on the internet. Anyway, so I've done it at some point. Anyway, just being able to like joke and make raspberries and like and my partner jokes about how the different like is porn will get better when you start hearing people be like, ow, my hip, and you know, just like have those actual moments. This I can get into. That's actually people having sex.
Like, oh, you just put your elbow right in the.
Can you move that? Like, thanks.
There you go.
So
Play.
play and sex, they can go together.
Oh my god.
Yes, well, they better. Otherwise, it could be too serious a business. Yeah, yeah. No, it seems that it's built into it. Absolutely. And a lot of sensuality I'm finding coming up also in the winter because I tend to be attracted to cooking more complicated things that take hours on end and just appreciating because a few months ago I wasn't so appreciating being in my kitchen all the time. Started making it more of a sacred space, and now there are two altars there, and have a little kitchen witch, of course, and they get some, and the ancestors get some of what I'm cooking often, but just the experimenting with different flavors and smells and shapes of food and colors, especially now. And
Yes. And so two things about that I'd love to pick up. I'm enjoying cooking now for the first time in years. So I'm
mm,
totally resonating with that. And that has been an area of play for me.
mm,
I've been ordering a food box. There's this in Toronto food share good food box, and you get produce, whatever comes.
Right.
And I'm actually really enjoying the surprise of it, of like, ooh, I'm unpacking my box. Like, what did they send me and how am I going to use it?
Right.
And then making things with that. And I've been like, that's actually been a huge area of play for me. And when you mentioned this time of year being sensual, so tomorrow we enter the new moon in Scorpio.
Right.
And it's a super moon. The moon is very close to us.
And Kislev.
And it's, yes, Kislev too. And Scorpio, so we were just I run a circle called Living from the Heart, and we had a session last night. Lauren got to join us. And someone in that group told us, reminded us maybe, that Scorpio season is also all about sensuality. And we were talking about the gifts of darkness, and this time of year being the time to get cozy and cuddle up with fire and delicious things. And that it's such an inviting time for sensuality.
Yeah.
So it feels important to just amplify that.
And I think we're both experimenting with food as well.
Yeah.
Right? You're cooking things for the first time. I'm expanding my repertoire a little bit, but mostly with the addition of things like spices. There's some really good, in fact, I want to give a shout out to the Herbal Kitchen by Cammie McBride. She's on Instagram a lot, and she is consummate herbalist and looks at all kinds of spices that we may not even know we're using, or that we need to use, or that we should use in every meal, like cumin, that can bring so many medicinal properties as well as lots of other, good taste. And
tastiness.
Tastiness.
Amazing.
I have a lot of I'll just start dumping it on everything now that
I love it. Yeah, I just love it. And turmeric, when I remember.
Turmeric, yeah. Good for circulation, right?
Yeah, but it stains.
Many things. What?
Turmeric, it does stain. Yeah, it's true.
It does stain, yes. Yeah, one has to be careful, but so worth it. So worth the being careful. But anyway, I know I'm just mindful of time because you wanted to complete.
I'm going
later. It's later on the
That's
East
why
Coast.
we have to be mindful of time.
Say that again.
I'm going to meet my niece. That's why we have to be mindful of time. I've never met her. She's 9 weeks old.
Oh, well, that's pretty important.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm glad you could both make it. This has been a delightful surprise to have you here, Lauren, and it's great to meet you. And I look forward to, many more of these. So we're going to have Cherie Eisenberg, and we're going to have, I hope, Jovelyn Richards, and if that'll be a few months away, who I've mentioned to you. Is a playwright and activist and consummate storyteller. And I also hope Xochitl Maez Valdez, who is a Yoruba and Ifa priestess, who I will be, I hope, solidifying a date with on Sunday. So I'll keep you posted.
Yay! We have lots of guests coming up, and maybe some more conversations with just me and Devorah, telling you all more about what we do.
Yes.
So, we'll have there's lots to look forward to. Let us know also if you are someone who's practicing in the priestessing world and you'd like to be a guest in our conversations. Let us know, and we would love to hear your comments and feedback. What do you like? Share with us how you're playing.
Yeah, I would love for everyone in the same challenged you, all the people, watchers, listeners, I don't know what you call them anymore. But write in your comments, how do you play?
Yeah,
that's a great idea. How do you play? And we'll be posting this, as I said, well, I didn't say it on here today, but to Instagram. We'll be posting, as always, on Facebook in a day or two, probably. And so that's a place for your comments, certainly, where those are welcome. There's also, what is your page, Annie?
Oh, my Kohenna Annie Matan on Facebook. Yeah, that's where it'll start, on Kohenna Annie Matan, and then we share from there to all of our various places. So you can find it at, well, if you're watching it, then you found it.
Right.
You can go to Kohenna Annie Matan and see all of the past episodes there on the videos tab.
Right. And also on my Facebook page and my Lilith Institute page, which is also in Facebook. And eventually also on my Lilith Institute website. That's I had a chance to talk to you about, but that's one of the next.
And the best thing about finding us on our home bases on Facebook is you can find out about all the other things we're up to. And feel free to reach out to us about those as well.
And you can find me at slightlybetter.ca.
Yes, you can find her at slightlybetter.ca, and Lauren is a curiosity coach.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're someone who's like struggling with things that feel hard in your life and you want to bring more spaciousness and curiosity to those
Mm,
feelings and
mm.
experiences, Lauren has some openings for new clients right now.
I love that
So,
title. That's
right? So
beautiful.
go check out Kohenet Lauren Stein, Curiosity Coach.
Mm-hmm.
All
Email me
right.
at laurentina.me.
There you go.
So if you'll send me that information also, Lauren, and then I can put that, or Annie can put that in the post.
Yes,
We
I'll
should
do
all
that.
put our info there.
Great.
Wonderful. Thank you so
Yeah.
much, both of you.
Thank
Yeah,
you
thank
both.
you.
Blessings.
Have a great weekend. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
What's alone?
Bye.